So, 7 people have been arrested for helping those inmates either escape or help them after they have escaped from that New Orleans jailbreak that happened about 2 weeks ago. There's a common thing. I want you to check these clips out, and there's a common thing amongst them all. Tell me if you can figure out what it is. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
So another person arrested overnight in Louisiana for allegedly helping a group of inmates break out of that Louisiana jail. And as of this morning, at least 5 of them are still on the loose. Nate Floyd is back in New Orleans with the latest details. Nate, what do you know?
Hey, Lawrence, good morning. So there are a lot of questions as we begin the second week of this manhunt. You mentioned 5 dangerous fugitives remain on the run. And we learned yesterday from the DA, Jason Williams, that the sheriff's office never even requested that the crime scene be processed after the escape. So that certainly raised a lot of eyebrows. And yes,
You know what? That's all. That shows a lack of preparation, a lack of in service, a lack of, I'll say, monthly or annual training. I know where I work at, man, we got to go on that computer and do these classes like every month. But there's really nothing like doing, there's no comparison between doing classes and actually, when I say classes, like online little modules and stuff. There's a difference between doing that and actually doing like real life, like exercises, which this shows that they haven't been doing. But if you ask them, they'll tell you that they're underfunded, understaffed, so they probably don't have the time, money, or the resources to actually do this. To practice these drills or these scenarios like they should. But I'm sure they signed off on doing them. But anywho, let's keep going.
yesterday, the DA's office and NOPD crime scene investigators did exactly that at the jail. And you also mentioned there was another arrest. However, unfortunately, not one of the 5 remaining fugitives. Take a look at the mugshot here. This is Connie Whedon. She's accused of contacting fugitive Jermaine Donald, who's accused of murder, before and after the escape. Authorities say that she also sent him cash on a phone app. She's now the 3rd woman arrested after the escape. A source tells Fox the other 2 are girlfriends of 2 of the fugitives.
That's kind of interesting because uh the last coverage I made on this video, on this story, they said that uh one of them was like a family member. So now Fox is saying that the 2 were, like, I guess, girlfriends of the 2 people that helped out. And that kind of, and I was wondering about that too, because these women are like in their one of them is like in their early 30s, and the one that's older, I think the Miss Baptiste, I think she's like 38, and the dude that she was helping was like 19. So that's another story in itself. In itself. But Miss Connie, man, she looked like somebody grandmother for real. I mean, she probably could have been helping like a grandson or grandnephew or whoever the guy was. And like I said before, when I was like, we was discussing this case, this situation with like some of the older ladies that I know, they were saying that, they would help out. Some would say they would help out if their son had escaped from prison. Other would say like, nah, you gotta go. Some say, hey, I give you some sandwiches, some money, but you gotta go. And the dudes was like, nah, you can't come around here with that and just, get up out of here. But I guess Miss Connie, Sister Connie, gave the man some food, a sandwich, and cash app him or send him. How the hell he got an account? Anyway.
Meanwhile, the DA talked about the mistakes made by the sheriff's office and the lack of communication immediately after the escape.
Time is of the essence in terms of catching escaped fugitives. If they escape at 12:30, immediately upon awareness of that, we need to make sure that the public is notified, the media is notified, because if that had happened, in all likelihood, all 10 of these individuals would be in custody by now.
Exactly. But they were saying like nobody's watching the camera. The lady who was supposed to have been watching them, went to lunch. And so they timed it perfectly or knew she went to lunch and burned off while she was gone. I haven't seen them mention her or if she was one of these 3 women that have been arrested. But this is not just a New Orleans prison problem. When I'm talking about communication and resources, you got it pretty much, I know, in the medical field. I'm going to say probably in first responder field, because you think about nurses, talk about there's a shortage of nurses. We having like a shortage of supplies. Police. You always hear there's a shortage of police. Like Chicago, I think, have a shortage of like thousands of policemen that they need, which is why even here in the prisons, you'll see how they say there's thousands, they need thousands of guards and COs and stuff to work these prisons. And a lot of it all boils down to budget. They want you to do more with less people. And if you can't do it, they want to fire you. So they'll push you to the end where, damn near kill you. And then when you quit to go somewhere else, they don't understand why. Then it's hard to fill that spot. Well, your reputation precedes it. And so you can't get nobody, can't keep nobody. And please don't wonder why, because there's no money involved. So if you don't have enough people, you're not going to be able, and you got jobs that, they're always hiring, high turnover. You got less camaraderie. You can train somebody, but it takes a while for people to get to be cool with you. And a lot of times you got people that say got attitudes, people who don't want to work, people who do the minimum. You got some people who going to go in there and bust their butt to do work. But it's like no camaraderie amongst them. And so people don't trust each other. People don't want to work with each other. You got folks, think about it. You look at other countries, like even with the police force. I'll just say here, like nursing, you had to go to school at least 2 years to become a nurse. Police force, you can go to class like for some months, I think. Academy for some months just to get like a certification or something. I'm not sure how it is, but it's not long-term training. And you're talking about jobs that affect people's lives. Saying people's lives in your hand. You got to make like split-second choices a lot of times, and only get training for a few months, and then you out on the beat. That's dangerous. So I'm thinking the prison is probably no different. The training is probably been cut down to minimum at best. I know when I first started nursing, my first nursing job I had to work the floor for like a year before I could be deemed charge nurse capable and actually sit behind a nursing station and run the whole clinic a whole year. Now they do it in a matter of months. Why? Because there's a shortage. And they're trying to get people in to hurry up and get them on the floor because they don't have time to be waiting that year. That's all across the board, man.
Lawrence, how about this? The DA is also asking the sheriff and her employees to voluntarily submit fingerprints and DNA samples as they conduct a criminal investigation into the escape. Take a look. These 5 inmates remain on the run. 3 of them are murder suspects or convicts. There's a $20,000 reward for information leading to their arrest. And investigators believe that those 5 guys are still here in the city of New Orleans. They're confident. They say they have strong intelligence on them. However, it's been since Tuesday night that they've made an arrest.
If you got strong intelligence on some inmates, you should have been done had them. And New Orleans is not a big city. I mean, not big at all. So if they haven't found them yet, like, it could be a lack of resources.
On one of these escaped inmates. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Nate.
I'm Steve Duke.
So let's go to this next story, because now we got more developments and more people that have been arrested.
News.
We are now monitoring 2 different jailbreaks in Southeast Louisiana, with the latest one happening yesterday in Amite. One inmate is seen on camera escaping from the Tangipahoa Parish Jail. And get this, it's the second time this inmate has escaped over the past year. Meanwhile, 5 inmates remain on the run from the Orleans Justice Center a week after that breakout happened. Thank you.
Oh, just monkey see, monkey do, huh?
For joining us, everyone. I'm Sharice Gibson, and tonight we have learned another person has been charged for allegedly helping the Orleans inmates.
Sharice. Oh, we're finna go petty right now. Beautiful young lady. I'm with the natural look. You know what I'm saying? All the aesthetics up here is fine. But I'm no fashion nista or whatever you want to call it. I'm not really with the tie that's the same as your shirt. Never, never seen it. I mean, maybe black on black, like at a funeral or something like that, or a formal event. I get it, but then the shirt is this like a dress? Because I know your waist ain't way down here. There's no way. There's no way her waist is below where her hands are right now. No way. Her waist is belly button has to be here. So what is this? This is a shirt. And then why is this shirt not cuffed? At a graduation last night, and you know what I'm saying, Grandboy had, what I'm saying, a tie vest looking handsome. Everybody say it was handsome, but his shirt was like his sleeves were like this. You know what I'm saying? I had to roll them up before we walked in because I'm like, man, that kind of throws off your look. I'm just not, like I say, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's something new. I'm old school. Things fit, things cuffed, things creased, everything in sync. But anywho, back to the story. Beautiful young lady. I'm sorry.
Inmates escape. Trevon Williams is already an inmate in the Orleans Justice Center. Investigators say he helped with the initial jailbreak. And a woman who allegedly helped 3 of the escaped inmates is sitting in jail on a $1 million bond. And today, NOPD arrested Casey Smith, who's on your screen, after they say she helped them drive around once they broke out. Alyssa Curtis was inside of the courtroom when the judge set Smith's bond. Alyssa, how exactly are they alleging she helped?
Well, Sharice, according to the Attorney General's office, Casey Smith admitted to driving some of the escaped inmates around days after they broke out of jail. There's been some inconsistencies with the number of inmates she helped, but today in court they said 3. Her lawyer, though, says that is not entirely true. According to the judge,
3.
the warrant says Smith was a co-conspirator with someone who received a phone call from the inmates.
Come on. This woman is 5'6". Ain't no way in hell. This woman ain't no damn. Come on. What's up with this picture? That can't be right. This woman, I don't know. I had to see it, but she don't look like she that big. She ain't no 6'6", no 6'7". Could she be? I don't know. God, oh, that's a big woman. That can't be right.
We learned that co-conspirator is Courtney Harris, and the two are allegedly cousins. The Attorney General
Sorry.
that was a co-conspirator.
I'm sorry.
According to the judge, the warrant says Smith was a co-conspirator with someone who received a phone call from the inmates. We learned that co-conspirator is Courtney Harris, and the two are allegedly cousins. The Attorney General's office says Smith confessed to helping the inmates yesterday, days after their escape last week. But Smith's lawyer says the person responsible is Courtney Harris, not Casey Smith. Her lawyer says Smith was simply in the car with her cousin, who got a call and later gave a few men a ride. Smith's lawyer says she didn't know who the men were, but the Attorney General's office says that is not possible as these men's faces were plastered all over national news. Again,
I'm gonna tell you like this here. Real talk. If I saw these dudes walking down the street, well, maybe right now, it depends. If it was the light skin with the tattoos on their face, that's the only thing that will make me look at them. That hair, I tell you all the time, that hair just throws me off with the twist and the dreads and stuff nowadays, all because it's associated now with these YNs who are out here committing these crimes. So it used to be a time, I remember back in the day when cats would get pulled over because they had certain haircuts or wearing certain clothes, and they could be straight squares. And it was, people call it racism and this and the third because they pull over. But unfortunately, when those in the criminal element take on styles and personas of those in the entertainment industry or the fashion industry, as us tax-paying, law-abiding square people do ourselves, yeah, it could blur the lines. So I see that. But like I said, if I seen these dudes on the streets like right now, I probably wouldn't recognize them. Now a couple of them it'd probably be a minute, but I'm not gonna sit there and just stare at people. you know what I'm saying, when I'm walking. Now I look, glance, and see, and be like, you know what I'm saying, if they catch my eye, be like, wait a minute, who that guy look kind of familiar. But other than that, nah. So it's possible. And we're talking about young folk. Let's just be honest. A lot of these young folk don't watch the news. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them only seen this video here. A bunch of niggas, a bunch of dudes jumping off this, you know what I'm saying, off this ledge and running. Or seeing them grainy videos of them walking the streets. Not really paying attention to the mug shots. Because probably a lot of them got homies and families and baby daddies in prison anyway, so they don't care.
And the AG's office says Smith confessed to allegations that happened yesterday. I do want to point out that Courtney Harris was arrested Wednesday.
And also, so if you're riding around and with your kinfolk and they say, hey, we're gonna pick up these dudes, you know, is it possible that, well, let's say, like, forget that part. You can be arrested for just being an accomplice. That's just how the law works. So in other words, let's say ignorance of the law is no excuse. I knew a guy who went, this is back when I knew a guy who said that he was riding with his homeboys and they stopped. He said, man, he said, riding with his homeboys, they was kicking it. Dude said, hey, we're gonna stop at this house first. And you can see this stuff like on TV shows, they do the same thing. But this was like back in the early 90s, probably earlier than that, but basically early 90s. He said, you know, they stopped. Homeboy said, we got to stop real quick. He jumps out. He said him and his cousin, I think, was sitting in the car. This guy went to this house, beat this dude. I don't know if he deleted him or beat him pretty bad, but he did a pretty bad job. But anyway, dude ended up being arrested too because he was accomplice. You know what I'm saying? Dude beat him, come back in, get in the car, and they leave. Everybody in that car got arrested. Everybody got charged. Now he was able to go to the military, which is something I said they just need to bring back in the prison system, especially for these youngsters, to give them a chance. Like, hey, instead of being locked up in the prison, you know what I'm saying, go to the military and you know, you got to do so many years, and then once you do them years, you get out. So anyway, he was able to go to the military. But he was in the car. But I think what the laws want you to do is if you know something bad happened, you need to tell it. The problem is, who gonna tell their peoples, man?
Judge again set her bond at $1 million. Sharice.
So she probably riding with him, and you know what I'm saying? So she probably riding a cousin, pick these dudes up, probably looking like, damn, are you serious? I usually know they could be upset, ride around for a little while, but ain't gonna say nothing, you know, and then that'll get her caught up because they track these phones and they track these transactions, man. Y'all, like I say, anybody who commit crimes nowadays got to be ignorant because everything is digital now. They can track everything you do. Go get your Go Dark phone or a Go Dark bag, Faraday bag.
Alyssa, thank you so much. So every minute counts, as this massive manhunt continues for these 5 fugitives. Derek Groves, he's 27 years old, and he's accused in 4 killings and convicted on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of manslaughter. Linton Van Buren, he's 26. He's accused.
Now, let's go back to this Groves dude real quick. Y'all know there's a story out there where they say his grandmother got knocked out by a policeman because she saw something that a policeman did, and he found out that she made a complaint, and so he had somebody on the street go and take her out in front of her house. Now, this is before he was born, I believe, but still, you know, he said he wasn't born when it happened, but people always come by and put vigils out in front of the house, kind of like flowers and stuff like this. So he knows what happened. So for him and his family to even trust the police or, like, you know what I'm saying, have anything good to say about law enforcement, probably was hard. Not making an excuse, but I'm just saying that's what's going around.
Linton Van Buren, he's 26. He's accused of second-degree murder. And then there's Leo Tate, 31 years old and facing multiple gun and drug charges, plus burglary. Jermaine Donald, who is 42, he's the oldest of the group. He is awaiting trial for second-degree murder. And now a jail maintenance worker is charged with helping them get out. That is Sterling Williams. He's 33 and admitted to assisting the inmates. And he told investigators he was threatened by a stabbing by Antoine Massey, who was also one of the escapees. But Williams' attorney denies that claim. Massey was jailed in March, accused of car theft and domestic abuse by strangulation.
They say this dude, they found him, he said he escaped before, I think, and they found him close to Dallas the last time. Now, again, all these tattoos, but you got these cats who like to put tattoos on their face or whatever. Cats with tattoos on their neck in their face. Y'all ain't trying to get no job. Here's the thing. Y'all see, y'all watch too much. Y'all watch them folk too much and then try to be like them folk, but then don't understand when you can't get or do what them folk do. I've seen, I've seen videos where you'll see guys like white guys in corporate America, suit and tie, glasses, you know, doing their thing. And then they get home and they take makeup off or take the long sleeves off. And you see tattoo like all down their neck and on their face and in their arms. And it's like, and they'll tell you, hey, we just gotta, what I'm saying, gotta hide this because I couldn't get a job in corporate America with it. These news don't care. They all think they're gonna be rappers.
We have a new look at the person.
And let's see, one last little.
For 7 accomplices now accused of playing a role in the escape of 10 inmates from New Orleans. 1 week into the escape, 5 inmates remain on the run tonight. And a tactical
Like I said, we're going to see what the common theme is here. I wonder if y'all caught it yet. So hold on.
unit arrested a man, Emmett Weber, in New Orleans East for allegedly helping some of those inmates. WDSU reporter Jasmine Franklin is live with more now, breaking down the new details, Jasmine, about others who are accused of aiding and abetting.
Right, Stella. Police have been responding to tips all week long while searching for the 5 remaining escapees. Now, those tips did help them find the first 5 inmates, but they're also right now searching for people they believe assisted those escaped inmates.
I think, this has been very long week. We do appreciate all of the tips that we've gotten.
1 week after 10 inmates ran out of the Orleans Justice Center, 5 have been captured and 5 others remain on the run. And while the search for the remaining inmates intensifies, law enforcement is cracking down on anyone accused of helping. These 7 people have been arrested in connection.
So they don't have a picture of Emmett Weber. This guy worked in the prison. This dude was in the prison. Don't know the dynamics of this guy. Well, these 2 dudes are already in the jailhouse. This guy here was probably like, what do you call that on the street? Affiliated. He's probably trying to be affiliated with some of these prisoners. You know how we do. Like when you're on the street and you're hanging with the biggest dope boy or the baddest gang banger out there. You just, to hang with him, you cool with him, this and the third, and really he don't care much about y'all. But anyway, he might have been affiliated with him. He was in prison. So these 2 don't count. This here in the middle. This is what I'm talking about as the common dynamic right here. Women helping inmates. We're going to get into that in just a second.
To the escaped inmates.
We are absolutely seeing tips that are naming individuals that may have helped. And obviously, it's breaking the law at this instance.
In court Friday, bond was set at $1 million for Casey Smith, accused of helping at least 3 inmates. We also learned about a new family connection between the alleged accomplices. Court records show Casey Smith is the cousin of Courtney Harris, who is also accused of assisting inmates. Lawyers claim Harris and Smith were in a car together and got a call from one of the inmates. Harris is
probably driving a Kia.
Is accused of driving 3 inmates around after their escape.
They talking about days later too, which is crazy.
Smith's lawyer says she has no connection to the inmates.
It's a difficult situation you're putting yourself in. And when you look at now these individuals who have been arrested and will serve time, most likely, that's a serious message that people out there who are in the situation now.
Yeah, gotta make a message. I gotta make an example out of you. For dang show.
And tonight, state police continue to stress that any family or friends assisting those 5 remaining inmates could also face charges. State police and the FBI say they will continue working tirelessly until they find the 5 remaining inmates. Reporting live in New Orleans, Jasmine Franklin, WDSU News.
Shoot, y'all need to go ahead and get that $20,000 reward and stop playing games. So anywho, like I said, the common denominator, which throws me off as a man, is why is it that women like to help bad boys? They'll date a guy who could be, I don't know, in the streets, not doing right. And a lot of them will say, I can change them. I can nurture, I can change them. Motherly instinct. So I give them that. Can we be mad for them being who they were created to be? To some points, you can't. But then sometimes you got to think outside of your own self. You got to get some kind of somebody else's opinion, like a man, like a dude. A dude on the outside will tell you that dude ain't no good. That dude will tell you, don't help them. What the hell you doing helping them dudes escape the inmates? Whatever. Better turn them folk in. They will tell you that. But if you don't go and seek that counsel, you're going to stand on your own merits and it could be detrimental. So, yeah, I asked Chat GTP. Let me see if I find it. See if this is. There we go. So I asked Chat GPT, because you can go ahead and ask them anything. So why are women more likely to help and befriend inmates? And you can see right here, but let's look. It says the tendency for women to help befriend or even form close emotional relationships with inmates, especially those in prison for serious offenses, can be influenced by a mix of psychological, social, and cultural factors. Here are the main reasons why this phenomenon is more commonly observed amongst women. More commonly, this is from Chat GPT gets this from numerous sources. So let's go. Empathy and nurturing tendencies. That's the number one thing. Studies in psychology consistently show that on average, women score higher in traits like empathy, emotional intelligence, and compassion. This can lead to a greater inclination to care for those who are marginalized, suffering, or socially isolated, like inmates. See, the dude most likely, like I say, gonna see trouble for what it is, and gonna especially try to tell the women and the ladies to stay away from it. Don't be involved in that. Let me tell you the best way to handle this, whether you like it or not. But that's us. We are solution based. What's best for the community. Women will look more like I say, they can help somebody, make them better. They'll feel like if I give them this, then it can turn them around. But a snake gonna be a snake player. To desire to save or rehabilitate. Some women are drawn to the idea of helping someone change or find redemption, especially if the inmate expresses remorse or vulnerability. This rescue dynamic can feel emotionally fulfilling and even noble. And that's crazy. You be watching these shows, what to say, married, lockup, prison marriages or something like that. And or they wouldn't be pen pal. Most pen pals of prisoners are women. They go in there and date these dudes. You see these stories. I know there's a couple of them down here in Texas where, prison guard, or prison worker women, get in a relationship with these dang prisoners. I mean, actually having like clapping cake sessions with these prisoners and then help them escape. And like they take them to the hospital and then they ended up can't find them. And then she ended up dead. He's still living. And you like, what the heck done happened? Well, shoot, he done manipulate you. Shoot, when y'all, I remember being in like high school, staying with my grandmother and writing letters to like girlfriends and stuff. Because I'm out in the country. Ain't nobody using no long distance calling. But wasting no money on that. So you write letters to each other. And your letters will be intimate and just, miss you and love and all this kind of stuff. That's just how it is when you like away from somebody. It's like a controlled dynamic and you say what you want to. People can't hang up on you, can't cuss you out, can't laugh at you in your face. But anyway, perception of emotional safety. Inmates, particularly those behind bars for life or long sentences, may be perceived as emotionally safe partners. They're not going anywhere, and the dynamic can be controlled from a distance. And then these dudes get out, y'all get together, and then he dump you and go be with somebody else. For some women, and y'all women know, y'all, come on, y'all can't get a dude out here. Explain it to me. For some women, this feels less threatening than traditional relationships, which I mean, hey, if you can sit there, like I say, talk to somebody on the phone, talking from a distance, get conjugal vengeance once a month, once a week, or whatever, if they still doing that. I mean, hey, people need companionship, period. So I understand the dynamic and the need for all this social media, these social media friends. It don't make sense. Man, it was years ago. Y'all remember this video? I mean, this commercial where this had this little girl in her room talking about she got like thousands of friends online, and her parents are out doing like, you know, corny and goofy stuff, but they out kayaking, dancing, you know, going on trips. But she's sitting in her room saying, thinking, oh, another friend. You know, it's like, come on, man. I don't understand that at all. People need companionship. The youngsters just don't know how to do it because they ain't been taught, because they've been having this social media, these devices like what you watching this on too. They do it too much. Media influence, media influence and romanticized narratives. Popular culture often portrays inmates as misunderstood, charismatic anti-heroes or victims of circumstance. Like, you know, man, I'm black and impoverished and I'm poor and I didn't get a chance, and the white man is holding me back, you know, and this is why I'm doing. I got to go out here and sell dope and this and the third because I can't. Yeah, understood. But you know what? In the meantime, let's say you are doing that type of stuff. What are you doing on the other side to get yourself out this situation? If there are no jobs and you just happen to be able to find a hustle to where you can make some decent money, you stacking your money to try to start another business, to try to start a legitimate business, like actually going out mowing yards. I know a lot of times, shoot, car washes and tire shops used to be like that money, the money washing thing, the money laundering part of dope dealing. Oh shoot. I remember a dude sent me a, you know what I'm saying, sent me a whole blueprint and plan on how to do a car wash. I might still have it. I don't know. But this is like he was in jail at the time and wrote this and told it to me. But anyway, yeah, that was just a way of, you know, that's how drug dealers wash their money back in the day. Probably still do it. I don't know. But I use that money like for a legitimate business, in legitimate investments. You know, getting properties, you know, buying houses, fixing them up, selling them, renting them out. Like I say, hell, like car wash or lawn care service. That's another guy. I mean, you know, it's cash business, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Turkey leg hook, something to where, you know, you can make it legit. You know what I'm saying? Are you doing that, or you just out there just hustling? Sending your kids to private school, things like that. What are you doing to actually get out of that? Instead of doing it, then you think 10 years from that, I'm gonna hit my last lick and I'm done. It don't work that way, player. Shows, documentaries, and social media content like prison TikTok or YouTube stores can romanticize or humanize prisoners, influencing public perception. Personal background or trauma bond. Women with history of trauma, abandonment, or chaotic relationships may find familiar emotional dynamics in connecting with someone who's emotionally needy or dependent. Water seeks its own level. Always remember that. I say that many a times. People will hang with those who ain't doing nothing if they ain't doing nothing. Or if they done been through something and somebody else done been through something, they can relate. People hang and kick it with people they can relate to. You understand me? The structured environment of prison may also make an inmate seem more predictable or stable than past partners. Yeah, because they ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. Social activism or religious conviction. Some women get involved in prison outreach, advocacy, or religious ministries to form bonds through regular contact and share spiritual and humanitarian goals. The desire to see people as more than their worst mistake aligns with certain religious and ethical views. Huh. So I guess you could say, hell, I did this, but I ain't did as bad as he did. So let me go and form a bond with him. So just to make myself feel better. Interesting. Loneliness or emotional isolation. The pandemic, economic shifts, or personal circumstances can leave some women feeling disconnected or unseen. Inmates, often grateful for attention, may offer deep emotional exchanges, leading to bonds that feel more intense than average relationships. So there you go. Like I say, the dynamic is a lot of times these ladies like to help these guys, but these guys are up to no good. Like, you know, if people, inmates, convicts, anybody who did something like that, if they really, 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 really loved you the way they say they would not put you in a situation to where you can get caught up to. Just wouldn't do it. They wouldn't hand you the gun. They wouldn't hand you the dope. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have you riding in the car with them dirty. They wouldn't do that. They would not do that. They'd be like, hey, Matter of fact, they probably wouldn't even be in that situation themselves. But they pretty much, I ain't gonna say don't care, but they take them risks for their own with their own life. They definitely. What you think they're gonna do? What you think they're doing to you? Even just by association, you ain't gotta be around them when they doing stuff. But all people gotta know is who you are related to them, and they can come get you. So you just, I don't know. But like I say, you tell me what you think. You know what I'm saying? Can we blame them for being who they were created to be in a way? Mothers, nurturers, you know what I'm saying, teachers. Anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below, share it with the world. We'll just keep updating it as we see and fit around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here at this channel. If you would like to support us financially, you can always get super thanks, super chats, super stickers, or just watch the doggone commercials all the way through when they pop up. Or you can go to the description box. There are a couple of links there you can click on to, support us that way. Get a brother some cacao drink, whatever, high flavonoid, keep a brother looking healthy, living healthy. But if you like something tangible for your dollars, which a lot of people do, you can go to marlonmorale.com. You can hit our Shopify store, or you can hit the links below, the shop button below, and check out all our luxury products. We got fragrances that last all day. We got beard kits, beard products. We got silk products, handbags, much more. You will not be disappointed. With that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.